big with 2 G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with 2 G's. So we back with another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's big with 2 G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with 2 G's, the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. And we got Festive here. Here we go.
Hello. What's good? How you doing?
I'm doing swell, as you can see.
As you can see, we sipping, we chilling. Real Daygo shit going on here. Yeah, it's nice.
I'm glad that you even touched on Daygo. What part of Daygo are you from?
I'm a South Bay kid. I'm South Bay slime.
Okay.
For sure. I'm South Bay slime. So IB, represent.
I'm familiar.
Yup. 91932, represent.
Oh, you remember the goddamn area code.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was like Seacoast Avenue right across the street from Imperial Beach.
Oh,
like,
I was about to say, that's for reals across the street.
Yeah. So it was mainly that my whole life. And then from there, I kind of moved to like Southeast Daygo.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like my adulthood is Southeast Daygo. And that shit was real.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, oh, okay, Daygo got its sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you come from the beach where it's just hang loose and, you know, all this stuff. And you move to Southeast and it's like, you can't be on a certain avenue.
You can't be hang loose.
You can't be, hey, don't even throw up no hand signs.
Right, like,
like,
what was that? What's the hang
where
loose,
you
bro?
from? Yeah, exactly. So that's where I spent my adult life. Spent a year in TJ because you really got to get the feel. We damn near Mexico, South Bay.
Yeah.
And then after that, just recently, I moved to Houston, Texas. Yeah.
So before we even hop into Texas, what was it like the transition? Like you said, I mean, you obviously noticed the transition. What was it like from you going to Imperial Beach to Southeast?
Woo! A culture shock for real because I
obviously
think
you've seen a couple more black folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that was really crazy. I'm biracial and I was raised.
What do you mix with?
I'm black and white.
Okay.
Easy. Real easy breezy. Black and white. So I was raised by the white side of my family growing up. And then as I got into my teen years and got more exposure, it was like, oh, cool. I'm around people I can actually relate to. I'm not like struggling with an identity crisis because it's like kids are like, why is your hair like that?
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Why do you have these features? And then it's like you move to Southeast Daygo and people are like, where you from? Because it's like I have curly hair, but I have certain type of features.
Right. So
even though I was like trying to fit in, I felt like the Southeast Daygo side had more culture, had more versatility, had just more relatable stuff. So it was really easy to find my circle, find my people. Absolutely.
I was about to actually say, like, with you feeling like, oh, they're asking you like, why is this? Why is this? Did you feel like an outsider now coming into Southeast and like, oh, I got to portray some type of deal? Or it was like, I mean, I'm going to be me.
You know what? I think like, I'm not going to say every biracial person, but I feel like a biracial person can feel like too black for the white kids, too black for the white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, especially when you come off as like, what's the word? Ambiguous. When it's like, okay, you have certain features that do this, certain features that do that. Lord forbid you speak some Spanish. Now they think you're Dominican.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you from Colombia all of a sudden. So it's like, people are always constantly trying to figure out what I am. And like, by being that, it kind of made it hard because if you go to a circle of certain people, like let's say Hispanic people, it's like, look up and down.
Like they're like,
same
oh,
thing
you're
with
not
white
with
people.
us.
Yeah. So,
you're
so
not
it's like,
with us.
everybody was kind of like, where's she from? So once I learned like, it don't really matter. This is who I am, period. It wasn't as hard, but that really took like, my 20s. It wasn't until my 20s. I'm a 24. So it wasn't until like late teens, 20s that I was like, I don't care where I go to. I'm going to be me. And if they don't fuck with me, it's cool. Like it's going to be what it's going to be, no matter what zip code.
Right.
Yeah.
When you grew up, did you grow up with your mom and your dad?
No. So just my grandparents, actually. So it was my grandparents till I was 15. Then my mom came into the picture because, you know, addiction be real.
So you didn't even, you already knew your mom when you was like a child.
Yeah.
Okay. But then she came back in the picture.
Then she came back in the picture. Yeah. Because, you know, sometimes people deal with stuff like drug addiction, alcohol addiction, you know what I mean? And that can prevent you from being a parent, period.
100%.
So it's like having my grandparents there, I was raised around old people. So it was like, instead of cartoons, it was Dateline NBC. You know what I mean?
Was this your black side grandparents or your white side grandparents?
This was white side.
Okay.
So sometimes I would go and visit my dad and be around that side. And that was like, damn, this is real. Like, this is something where I fit in. But I always felt like around white people, it felt like I was trying to be something. Almost like code switching. Like, I need to be proper. I need to speak, I need to be proper. I can't. Because
they're going to judge me if I'm too black.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You play the wrong song and it's like, that's ghetto.
Damn, you ghetto. You playing that loud ass music, your ghetto ass.
Exactly. So it was like, damn, trying to find that blend. And then being at Montgomery High, shout out Aztecs.
I'm familiar.
Being at Montgomery High, everybody speaking Spanish.
Mhm.
Everybody playing soccer.
Yeah.
So you're like, damn, I really fuck with tacos. I really fuck with chilaquiles. Like, damn, I'm fucking with this. I pick up Spanish mariachi.
Tacos El Gordo across the street.
Shout out Tacos El Gordo.
Right
that was
across
the
street.
spot. We were really, really privileged to have that. I don't think we realized it, but Tacos El Gordo, like top 2, not 2.
Oh yeah.
In Daygo. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, it was kind of like San Diego's already a blend, but being in this point where I don't really know what side to pick, but there's all three, I kind of just took from everything. You know what I mean? So I was singing mariachi in high school, not Hispanic. I was hanging out with white people at the beach, half white. You know what I mean? It was like, and then I got into rap and I met all my musicians and they were African-American, Black, Nigerian, Jamaican, whatever it was. And it was like, cool, this is really my place where I can pick, you know, who I want to be around to help me be a better me.
Right.
Yeah.
So like in high school, you kind of touched on it right now. What was high school like for you? Because I mean, you were still trying to find yourself. Like you said, you find yourself at 20, like, okay, this is more so where I'm trying to be. What was high school more so like for you?
Woo! High school is a trip. High school was like, oh, I hope my mom gonna watch this, but she already know. High school was me.
Hi, Mom.
Oh my gosh, I was experimenting in some things I ain't need to be doing. I was at the raves. I was at the functions.
Okay.
I was everywhere I could be. And then school itself was not the move for me. Like I really, really did not like school. It got to the point where I would show up and take the test and I'd pass, but they'd think I'm cheating because I wouldn't show up for actual class. So like junior year, they were like, hey, you going to court for school because that's how absent you are. Right. So I ended up doing online school for the last 2 years. That shit was lit.
She's like, this was good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So going to virtual school after going to Montgomery, that shit taught me like I could get a job, I could learn how to drive, I could go get my money, I could be around my friends, and I don't have to be at school from 8 to 3 o'clock every single day. I could go be getting money from 8 to 3 every single day and being who I want to be. Yeah. So yeah, high school was cool, but honestly, last 2 years, it was like, I'm just making money. I'm just out here trying to grind.
What made you not want to go to school so much?
I would say with high school, it was just a matter of waking up every day. Like, to be honest with you, you go through a lot. I think a lot of teens go through a lot. A lot of teens struggle with, especially new school, we struggle with anxiety. Some of us have depression. Some of it's genetic, but some of it's environmental. You know what I mean? So especially with me having it be a genetic disorder and it being environmentally not cool for me, because like I said, I wasn't really fitting in. Right. It got to the point where I was like, man, what the fuck I look like showing up at a place they don't want me to be in? You know what I mean? It's like, and then at that point, you stop showing up. So every time you do show up, they're like, what's going on? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Why aren't you here? Da, da, da. So it's just like, I'm not trying to be here at all. Like, miss me with that completely. So yeah, it was a lot about being a teen and going through that, like, that emotional stage as a teen for real. Yeah.
What made you even feel like they was kind of like, I don't want you to be here? What brought that on to you? Like, damn, I feel like they don't really want me to be here.
That's an interesting question.
Because like, I mean, you know, everybody, like you said, you had anxiety, and sometimes those things make you like I touched with somebody else. How many times like anxiety? So you thought this shit was gonna happen to you. How many times did it actually happen?
Absolutely. It really be like the mind is incredible and it can really put some shit into you that isn't actually real.
That's why I'm wondering, like, what made you think like they don't want me here?
I had friends, but even in middle school and elementary school, like I was saying, it was a lot of like bullying. It was a lot of being made fun of.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like, you know, why is she singing in Spanish? Or like, why her hair look like that? Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it was like, a lot of it had to do with who I was and just being joned on like all the time. Yeah. So it was like, well, when I'm outside of school and I'm at work, niggas aren't asking me any of that. Yeah, nobody's doing that. I'm thriving. Like, I'm doing me. So after that, I was like, I don't need this. Yeah, absolutely. I could clock into work and people respect me, respect my time. So it's like, I don't really have to deal with teachers. I don't have to deal with students. Like, kids are mean. We all know it. I was mean too. Like, everybody was mean. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I'm dealing with grown folks and I'm getting money to deal with grown folks, I'm going to do that compared to go to school. Right. To do what? Work for them? Like, that's crazy. Miss me. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what's up. Like
Yeah.
that, and the fact that you even took the positive, like, I mean, obviously, like you said, there was a lot you was going through with school,
Mhm.
but then you took it like, okay, I'm gonna just finish virtually and I'm gonna get my money right. What instilled you even thinking about like now, okay, I want to go get money?
Mhm.
Did you grow up with that, like with your family, like getting money, or that was like something that obviously they wasn't doing or whatever? Like, how did you?
Yeah, I would say like the way anybody moves, especially financially, is based on their upbringing, 100%. So
Right.
like if you grow up around a wealthy family, you're not stressing on getting money because it's already
It's
there.
there.
Where like me, I grew up around a family, we were middle class, but like it was always like, damn, you want this? That costs all this. Or like, damn, I just spent all this. Oh my gosh. It was always money
Oh,
focused.
I know that.
So it drove me to be money focused. Like then I start looking at the prices and I'm 15 talking about gas too damn high. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's crazy how that was on my mind at such a young age.
Yeah.
But it was almost like hereditary. So because of that, and because I was trying to get out of the house, because once again, it was like, I didn't even feel welcome there. I didn't even feel loved
At
there.
home.
At home. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
this is with your mom and your dad?
No. This was my
Your grandma.
grandparents. Yeah.
Okay.
Grandma and grandpa. Grandpa wasn't home. He was always grinding. He was working. Woo! He was working, like, period.
Yeah.
So it was grandma, but she dealt with a lot of, I'm gonna say she dealt with a lot of trauma. And
Had to
you
deal
know,
with her kids.
yeah, and whatever she had going on as a teen, as a child, whatever it was, I never knew.
Because mental health wasn't even a thing to talk about. That was like, oh, she must be crazy.
Yeah, depression.
Yeah.
But we ain't got that. That shit don't exist. You better go to take a nap and
That's
wake up.
frowned upon.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
They don't even believe in that.
Right.
So like, being that, and like also, you know, if you're going through things that you can't explain and you have somebody being like, that's not even real, you don't even know what that is. It's like, well, damn, let me get up on out of here because this isn't cool.
Like, this is what I'm feeling, but you telling me
it's not real.
That's not it. I'm like,
yeah,
no, it is real to me.
So why am I crying? Like, what the hell? So being around that environment, I was like, I don't know what I got to do, but I got to go. I got to go because when I'm outside the house, when I'm with my friends, I'm living life. I feel great. So why is it when I'm at the house or when I'm at traditional school, why am I feeling like this? And I didn't know why. I understand now. I didn't know why, but I just knew I'm not going to do it. So whether or not I had an explanation, I just knew I needed a solution.
So with you going through all that through your upbringing, what's your mental health and how do you keep that like at a stable? Because I mean, life is hard. So how do you keep like that mental health at a good level where you're able to continue to do what you're trying to do?
Yeah. I would say it depends on the era. So like high school, it was friends. It was definitely friends. Like keeping my friends around me, they were like my family. They were like my family for sure. And then after that, I went into music. I decided to do music, be an artist, and that was my family. Like finding artists to collaborate with, to be in the studio with, to be at shows with, that was my home. And now that I moved out to Houston, Texas, and I ain't got nobody but my boyfriend, it's like I'm really going to have to search for my own support. I got to show up for me because ain't nobody around to show up for me besides one person. And that's not his problem.
Right.
So I definitely advocate for psychiatry, therapy, meditation, journaling, all that shit. Because this past year, I've been able to dive deep into that. And it's been hard, but it's taught me so much about myself.
I was just about to ask, because you touched on, I'm like, are you doing those type of things that you like?
Yeah. Shout out my psych one time for the one time. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shout out my psych.
Shout out my psych. Shout out my therapist. All of them hold it down. Absolutely. Like, I think they're able to tell me like, okay, well, if we talk about this and this, what's that? That's signs of this. Or, well, why don't you go back to your childhood and figure out why you might think that now? And it's so crazy. Like, for example, if you think like, oh, dang, I'm not smart, right? It's like, well, why don't you think you're smart? Well, I remember one time somebody called me this. All right, well, what happened in that conversation? And you go all the way back to the first time it happened, and you can just acknowledge it and be like, I accept it and move on. So now I'm smart. You know what I mean? It's that easy. But we're so locked in on I'm not this, I'm not that, or whatever it may be, that we don't actually try to find the root of why we think that. And so, like I said, shout out the site, because they be teaching you, and therapy too. They be teaching you. Yeah.
What are some of the things that you was back in your childhood thinking that now that you now going through therapy and psychiatrists that made you now realize like, you know what? That's actually not true what I've been thinking all these years.
Yeah. Ironically, like being a rapper, being a woman of, who preaches self-empowerment, who preaches confidence, who preaches to do whatever you want to do. For the longest time, I was insecure.
Mhm.
I was insecure about my features.
And this is when you were promoting this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. So it would be like an alter ego. That's always how I thought of it.
Right.
So like I'm Micaiah, but Festive is the woman that I am on the other side.
Right.
Festive is the woman where there's no cameras around, no people around. That's who she is. And she gonna talk her shit. She gonna tell you who she is. She gonna get what she want, right? And so by creating Festive, I became that, right? So as I did that and I preached this, it's like a mantra almost. Like I can be this woman. So one of the, like you asked, one of the things that I wasn't sure of was my worth. Absolutely. Like, why do people always want me around so bad? Or why do people cancel when I cancel? It's not that deep. Other people gonna be there. But like by learning who I am as a person, learning even who Festive is and being able to merge the two, I'm able to understand that like I thought that way because of my childhood. I'm not thinking that way because nobody told me that. None of my friends told me that. None of my partners told me that. Nobody but myself because of how I was raised.
Right.
So being able to be like, that shit never happened. Why did you think that?
Yeah.
I was able to move forward. Like that shit ain't even real. Next question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that was through therapy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I've read like self-help books and I think that's cool. You can meditate, you could journal. I think that's all good. I think you should. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need somebody there to hear you speak those words and question you.
Right.
Because if you not, you just writing out what you think is facts. But if someone's there to question, well, wait, why you think that? It's kind of like, oh shit.
I don't know why I thought
why
that.
do I think that? Yeah.
And once you ask, you like, damn, you know what? I never even thought about why I thought this the whole time. Because even when I asked you, like, why do you think they didn't want you at school? You was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Why the hell did I think that? Then you was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking about why they didn't want me at school.
Absolutely. And it's just that easy. And I feel like people deal with demons their whole life, whether it was like something that was said to them or done to them, or whether they just made it up themselves because of things they were taking in. People deal with demons their whole life. And like, once you can liberate yourself from that, the world is yours. Like now I can be Festive and truly speak with my chest, like say it with my chest. Everything I've said is what I believe is facts. Like I'm not going to talk about a Lambo if I ain't got a Lambo. Right. You know what I mean? Like I don't believe in promoting things that you not really about, because one day somebody going to check you.
Right.
One day she gonna get real.
Oh, you remember that line? You was like, I'm pushing a Lambo out in downtown, but you in a Toyota.
But you got a Honda.
Like, is that facts or you was just capping?
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, especially in San Diego, the scene is so small. Like San Diego rap, San Diego hip hop, it's so small. Like San Diego's really about alternative bands, reggae, and like, like it really be that. It's really not hip hop, R&B, rap. So if you find that circle, people will definitely check you. Like, girl, she work at Target. What you mean she getting a bag? She getting a Target bag? She getting a plastic one? It's not no, you know what I mean? It's not no nothing crazy. So yeah, at that point I was like, let me keep it real with myself, because the more I speak it, the more I'm gonna bring what I want into fruition, because I'm validating who I am right now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Like you actually came, like after going through all these things, you was like, you know what? I'm actually realizing this and this and this and that. What brought on the name? How did you come about Festive?
Oh, Festive was easy. So in middle school, you know how you had like spirit days, right? You know how it was like nerd day, or I don't know, Cinco de Mayo.
Your glasses with the little joint on them.
Yeah. So everybody like, St. Patrick's Day, everybody got a little pin on or something like that. I'm like green hair, green chains, green shirt, green pants. I'm like going all out for every holiday, because it was just like, to me, it was just fun. It gave me an excuse to be somebody who I want to be. You know what I mean? Yeah, be festive and celebrate the day. I love finding any reason to celebrate some shit. I love finding a reason to appreciate something and like celebrate it. So everybody be like, you so festive. Damn, what you festive for? Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
So I changed my Instagram name to Festive. And then when I started doing music, I tried out Simone, which is like my middle name. And people were like, oh, like Nina Simone. Oh, so you sing. I was like, no. No. So it's Festive now. We just went with the name that I feel like I am, because I feel like when I bring anybody around me, when I show up to anything, it's a party. Like, that's really the vibe I'm trying to create. Like, we're here to celebrate life. We're here to celebrate whatever the fuck we got going on.
You want to show everybody a good goddamn time when they're in your presence.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because what I look like being a rapper and being serious for.
Right.
Like, I'm not who am I, Nas? Like, what the fuck? I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to have a good time. Absolutely. So if you got something going on, I'm not trying to be stank. I don't like being like, I'm the best. I do this, whatever. You got something good going on? Let's celebrate it. I'm here with you. Good for you. I'm not trying to just celebrate myself. I'm trying to celebrate everybody and anything.
So you giving folks their flowers.
Absolutely. Because the more that people appreciate you, the more you start to realize it yourself.
Yeah.
Like if somebody tell you every day, hey, you going crazy right now. You so smart. You so talented, this and that. At one point, you're going to be like, damn,
I am going crazy.
Yeah, because
I'm smart as hell.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's like, what do I look like bringing somebody down? That does nothing for me. But if I can bring you up, then we up together. Now we both killing shit. So the more that there is, the more I seem to, bring the party around, bring the audience around. Yeah.
So what's your favorite holiday since you're so festive? We got the holidays coming around the season. What's your favorite holiday?
You know what? I'm a Sag. December 6th is my birthday. So you would think Christmas.
Yeah.
But I love me some Halloween. I love Halloween. I love giving out candy to people. And I love being like, what you about to do? I love couples costumes. I like team costumes. I like anything and everything. And some people be like, oh, after a certain age, you should dress up. Not at all. Like if you really about to experiment with some shit, Halloween's like kind of the one time to do it without everybody critiquing you or thinking you weird. You know what I mean? So I mean, I used to use that opportunity to be like, oh, I'm about to do some weird shit. And now I can just do it, because I'm confident within myself. So now I can go out and just do some weird shit when I feel like it. But it was always Halloween where I was like, I'm about to kill him. Yeah. I'm about to eat right now. Like I'm about to go crazy. Yeah.
What did you dress up as this year?
This year,
and was it a couples thing or it was just you solo?
It wasn't a couples thing. This year I was in Texas, so I was a bear. I had the ears on. I had the face makeup. That's really what I like to do. I like the face makeup and shit like that. Last year I was the bride of Chucky and Chucky.
Oh, so you had some blood and some extra shit. I had the
613 lace front, okay, straight blunt bob cuts, okay, white satin dress with the leather jacket. I was eating these hoes up. So it was a good time. It was a good time. Like I said, I love my holidays.
So what brought on all this like confidence? Because you coming from like how you saying like you wasn't feeling yourself and all this. What brought on you to then feel all this confidence?
Honestly, it's so funny. It's so funny because when people know my life story and know what I came from, not to be like I came from the mud.
Everybody got a goddamn story.
Everybody got a story, right? So like when people know the shit that I've been through, they're kind of like, how are you now? And really, honestly, what I think it is being on the internet, being in that generation of having the internet born and being able to see these different types of people and being like, I want to be that and emulating that until I actually believed it myself. Because nobody around me, besides my friends, was really on that shit like, you that bitch, you killing it, you doing this. So it was like, I go online and I see all these people doing these things and I see all these celebrities doing their thing and I'm like, damn, I want to be that. I could do that. I could be that. And so it's just like, fake it till you make it type shit. Yeah. And so then it got to like teens and early 20s where I was like, hey, I just wrote a song and he's fucking with it. Like, I'm kind of cool right now. Right? Yeah. So like, I did this. I started whatever hobby it was, and I took off. So it was like I'm clearly somebody cool. Like I'm kind of cold. Something. Whatever it is, yeah, I'm kind of taking off with it. If it's successful, I'm gonna take that one thing that was a success, amp it up like I just won a fucking Grammy and go on to the next thing because it's that confidence.
Grammy.
Yeah, it's that little confidence, those celebrations, those festivities that's gonna take you to the next step every single time. Yeah.
So with you doing all like your music and everything like that, how do you still like basically keep a relationship going solid? Because I mean, obviously you're gonna have to be around the opposite sex. You're doing your shows. You got to be at the club. You got to do things like that. So how do you keep your relationship so solid with your man?
That's a good question. Matter of fact, shout out Alpha, Daygo's finest on Instagram. Okay, follow him one time. It's not for the weak. Let me start off like that. Honestly, being a confident woman is not for the weak. Period. But being an artist, especially when you're out there, you got to look good. You want to attract attention. That's the goal as any type of artist. You got to have eyes on you. So you got to find the right one. You got to find somebody who's confident in themselves, who know who they are, who know what you're bringing to the table, know the risk, know the, the caution of it all, and be able to accept like the risk is worth the reward. You know what I mean? So my man personally, he's an artist himself. He writes, sings, raps, records, does all that stuff. So we met through music, and that was easy because it was like, we're both on stage. We both know how this goes. Especially if you're both attractive, you know what attention comes with it sometimes. Even if it's not like, I ain't listened to a single track you said, but I'm trying to holler. What's good, shawty? You know what I mean? We know what comes with that. We know what comes with being in the spotlight. So being with somebody who's kind of on that same level, it was easy to just be like, bro, we got this. Like, we here. You know what I mean? And so we collaborate all the time. We share things. We were insightful with each other's craft. And being able to do that has really made the relationship stronger.
So basically, it's like y'all being transparent obviously helps. But I mean, obviously with all like the Instagram and all the other shit, it's like, and everybody just be wilding sometimes. And sometimes you read some shit and take that out of context. How do you keep yourself from basically overthinking like, oh, I actually, or basically gaining trust for your significant other?
Yeah. I think period, like even if you're not an artist, you could attract attention. You know what I mean? Like you could just be regular Sam out here and you just look good and people come your way. Like it is what it is. So I feel like being secure with yourself, knowing who you are, that's step one. Because insecurity is gonna bring, hey, that's the devil right there. Like that's really gonna bring out some problems if you're insecure. So I feel like that, and having security with your partner, having open communication. That's crazy. Cause like I could get a DM and it's like, damn, baby, you so fine. Da, 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 da. I know you got a man, blase, blase. I'll be like, babe, look at this shit right here. This nigga tripping. You know what I mean? And we laugh about it. Instead, it's not like, well, who's that? And da, da, da. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's like, oh, he crazy. Cause I know nobody's a threat. So I would say it happens more with me as far as the DMs and the attention. I mean, being a woman,
I know females is thirsty, but niggas be thirsty.
Woo! So many times it's been like, oh, I'm sorry, I got a man, da 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 da. And it's like, well, he ain't gotta know. And like, hey, yo, this is crazy.
Like this nigga's really, right here next to me. He know.
Right here.
He
like,
know.
Man, I might as well have him send you a voice memo back. Like, if you really want to play that game, he do gotta know. Like, I'm laid up with him right now. So he do gotta know. So yeah, I would say like just being able to communicate about that stuff. Cause let's say like you're in a relationship with somebody who is insecure. And even though you don't want nothing to do with this girl who just slid in your DMs, you do want to be upfront and tell your girlfriend, like, hey, whoa, in case there's problems, she tried to holler at me. And even though you did nothing but point out the fact that she just slid in the DMs, it's a problem. Ooh. And you in trouble. You're like, bro, what you want me to do? And she's like, well, you should have blocked her. How am I gonna block somebody I don't even know?
Like, wait a minute. Right now. It just came right now.
What you want me to do, baby? So it's like being with somebody who either goes through that or who's just confident and trusts you. It's like, that ain't no problem. It's never a problem. In fact, it's like funny. It's a joke. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, oh, you thought.
I'm sure you've been through some shit with some rough relationships. So now, like, seeing this, do you kind of compare the two? Like, oh, I know this is what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, okay, I've dated somebody who decided to become a rapper because of me. Because I wasn't where they thought I wasn't giving them enough attention because I'd be in the studio or because I'd have to do this or have to do that. So they start booking studio time.
Like, you know what? You ain't here. I ain't gonna be here neither. I'm in the studio. Right. What?
And it was like, huh? Or like, oh, now I'm buying beats from your producers. Oh, now I'm collaborating with so-and-so. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Like damn, out the blue. Like you was just at home or you was working at Target, but now you in the studio every day.
It's giving up activity. Absolutely. So I think like, strange. Well, good luck on that album. Like, I'll be the one. I'll be first to stream it. Shit, I'm here for the support. Support your local artists. So like seeing that, I never knew that an insecurity within a person, especially in a relationship, could breed some crazy shit like that. Like you done made a nigga change his profession.
Right.
Because he trying to chase. You know what I mean? So like after that, and now being with my current partner, I'm like, Yeah. So now I know what
See the
to
difference.
see. Yeah, as far as like this is a red flag or whatever it may be. And don't get me wrong, everybody has to grow.
100%.
Everybody grows within a relationship.
Right.
But like, whoo, sometimes it's like
A lot of growing.
wow. Sometimes it's a lot, too much growth.
You're right.
Too much
It's
growth.
like,
We're like,
I can't be here for all that growth.
I can't be.
I'm
right.
sorry.
This
I know you're
requires
growing.
therapy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Somebody else got to grow with you. I'm sorry.
Get you a plant. 'Cause
Yeah.
this growth, it's not working with me.
Hey, your
No.
plants give you good energy. So
Yeah.
say, hey, you might need that goddamn plant.
Facts.
With you going now with you out in Texas,
Mhm.
what type of support you get? Like they know you from Daygo. Like what
Yeah.
type of support you get with your music?
So when I first touched down in March of this year, my first gig was South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. So I spoke on a panel for Rolling
What's
Stone.
like the airlines?
No. South by Southwest. So it's like this big music festival in Texas, and it's in Austin,
Because
Texas.
I ain't familiar, so don't butcher me for this bullshit.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
So it's in Austin, Texas, and it's like a huge. Think of like kind of Coachella, but more sectioned off. It's a huge thing. There's artists of every level out there, and I spoke on a panel with Rolling Stone, Toby and Nigwe.
I didn't even want to repeat his name. Because I was like, I'm about to fuck that up.
They gonna butcher
so
me.
I was
Hold
going to
up.
let her say this shit. I'm like, but that dude right there, I was like.
Yeah, bleep that out. No, I'm kidding. Him, Jake. And so being able to do that with Meta and Rolling Stone, that really set the bar. And then since then, I've done local shows and everything like that. But to answer your question, as far as support, it's really just the people who out there vibe with me at that time. Like it's different being in San Diego. I have old coworkers, high school friends, family.
You grew up here.
All of them will pull up for me. They ain't never heard a song, but they'll pull up for me because they know me as a person.
Right.
Texas, I got to get them right there.
Right.
I got to perform. I got to work. And Texas is a tough crowd. Anybody who's been to a Texas show, it does not matter what status you are. It's a tough crowd. So like, I really got to set it. I really got to set the bar. So I make sets. I don't just perform tracks. Like it's going to segue to another song. Then I'm going to have a transition. Then I'm going to spit a cappella and the beat going to drop on you. Like it's curated. It's curated to a point where like, damn, she's clearly not just a starter up rapper.
Right.
You know what I mean? She really does this. She's performing. She's not just rapping.
Right.
Yeah.
What brought you to, how'd you even get that work ethic? Like now I know this is how I want to do this and this is how I want to do this.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say a big part was just watching performers locally. Like I'll say, San Diego, I took notes. And damn, like not just in San Diego, everywhere, they just be performing on top of their tracks that are already out. And that was always a pet peeve of mine. I did my second show and somebody was like, hey, you were cold, but just so you know, you need to get show tracks. I said, what the hell is that? They were like, it's where you take out the main track and it's just the ad libs and the chorus and it's you rapping. We want to hear you rap. We don't want to hear the track and you rapping on top of it. We want to hear you spit. Can you do it live?
Yeah.
So I was like, woo! So I went to my engineer. I said, can you do a show track? Hoping he knew what the fuck it meant. And he did, thankfully. And I take that and I'm like, oh, okay. So now I can put my inflections, put my different tones, maybe switch up a beat, switch up a word. You know what I mean? And I have that power. So it came from just judging the people, my peers, and then watching celebrities as well, watching their sets like Tyler, the Creator, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat. They're all performers. They're not just rappers. You know what I mean? So seeing them and how they put on a show, and then also just having the access to having my boyfriend as like a producer, he's able to just plug in songs and put the transitions in there for me. Or like, hey, can you space this out? Because I want to do this after. Or, leave a 10-second space because I want to talk to the crowd real quick.
Yeah.
So having him be the one to be able to be that person to mix it how I want. And also knowing what I want, that's the magic mix right there.
I was honestly about to ask like that dynamic of you having your boyfriend and then him producing your music. With y'all being in a relationship, does that come in, does that basically throw a wrench in what y'all got production going on?
Yeah. He doesn't, he's produced a couple tracks, but I usually outsource. But with that being said, he's produced a couple tracks. You know what I mean? No, we ghostwrite for each other all the time. Like it's so funny.
You do as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I've wrote tracks for him. He'll write tracks for me. It's so funny. He'll be like, bad bitch in the booth. Hey, give me one, give me two. Hey, and I'm like, hey, okay, man, okay. Like, and it's so funny because then I get to be in the space of like, I'm an intellectual, I'm finna hit you, and so we get to be that different person that's not our brand.
Right.
So it pushes our pen. But it can put a wrench. It can put a wrench. Absolutely. Like right now.
Because if y'all not feeling each other's vibe, but this like say y'all have something going on at home, it's like now we not really producing like we would because we got this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now, like he's in this process where he's like album mode, right? And I'm more like I'm dropping singles. And so right now it's interesting. This is the first time we've done it, but it's like we don't want to listen to each other's music. We're going to listen to it as a consumer. And I think that process has been so dope because usually we're in it, like hands in the mix for each of our projects. We're executive producing pretty much for each other. But now being able to like hear the tracks like from finish instead of like from the ground up, it's like, damn, you go crazy. Like you really do this. And it's really a beautiful experience to go back as a consumer and enjoy it that way. Yeah. Instead of being like, you need to switch that bar. That's kind of mid. You know what I mean? Or like being hands in the pot like that. But besides that, no, it's never been a point where like, I don't know, we say some shit and it's like, oh, okay, just for that, like you can sleep on the couch. Like it's never like that. Right. It's never like that, which is cool. But that just comes with being secure as an artist as well as an individual. Yeah.
That's what's up. So with him actually helping you out and stuff like when you first like y'all first met, was he already supporting your music or it took some time for him to be like, okay, now I'm feeling your sound?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because you obviously had to progress and all that.
Yeah. So we met as artists. Like when I saw him on stage, I was like, this is the coldest nigga in the city right now. Like he's next. I saw him perform. I was like, woo, and he fine. I was like, woo, shit, okay. Like I was like, hey, what's good? But when I got to meet him, I was like, he's really talented. Like I need to get to know him. It wasn't even about like, I need to get to know him. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, how do you get to this point? Because what you're doing is crazy. And he felt the same about me. Like he took me for like a Megan Thee Stallion rapper at first, like pussy rap writer at first. And then we had a session where we listened to each other's pretty much catalog, the unreleased shit. He was like, hey, yo, like we need to work. Like we need to put in time. So we start writing and we come out with stuff and shit like that. And that's how it developed to an actual relationship. But it started off as like, I'm a fan, you're a fan. Let's get this working because we both really talented.
Who brought y'all to actually meet each other? Like, was that like, I got to talk to this person and they got me in touch with this person?
We were at the same show. We had the same show. We were both on the lineup. And I remember we had a cypher. Like it was like a mic check cypher thing. And I remember first round, I'm not gonna lie, I tried to freestyle. Mind you, I'm new to the game. This is my second show ever. Oh my God.
The fact that you got there for your second show.
Why did I do that? I tried to freestyle. That shit was ass. It was so bad. And like he comes in cold, just off the top, just cold. And then they were like, all right, we got to film a second take because I didn't, audio was wrong.
I wasn't recording so I said, or whatever.
Okay.
I'm ready now.
I'm a joke. Yeah. So then second round, I'm gassing to the point where like the beat cut out because the beat left. I keep going a cappella. Like I'm still on beat. Like I'm not skipping nothing. And he saw that and he was like, hey, she called. Cause right now in San Diego, I can name on one hand like female rappers who are actually doing something. Cause if I know them, then it's like that means they're doing something. But honestly, like I've tried to search and tap in and try and find as many female rappers in this city that I can. And it's so few. It's so few. Scarce out here. And I think that this is really a good city to tap into because there are people listening. And already, if you're a female rapper, you're kind of standing out from the same person, from the same rapper in the city. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, what's she about to do? Like they see a female get up and they're like, hold on now.
Let's see what she about
to do. I kid you not. Every time there's at least 5 men just like arms crossed, like what's she really about to do when I get on stage? So yeah, it was like we met that way. And from there, it took off. And I feel like, I'm just trying to meet more people like that, like him. You know what I mean? And if I could find female artists like him, that would be dope because it really is just scarce out here for the talent.
Yeah.
For the female talent, for real. Yeah.
What female artists or producers or whatever the case, anybody from San Diego, like who do you usually tap in with when you're trying to get something going?
Easy. Love me some Kalia. Yo Kalia on Instagram. That's sis right there. We could sit in a studio and just freestyle all day.
And she Daygo.
She's Daygo. Daygo bound. Kalia for sure. let's see. Monday Cam is a great artist. We got her in the back right now. She's a singer, but she goes crazy.
Nah,
I kid you not.
my
She
first
goes
love was
crazy.
R&B, so
yeah, absolutely. If you looking for that soul vibe,
Yeah.
yeah, she's great. You got Teal Ideal in the building. Bree Blues been around. She's held down the city for so long. Like there's so many good artists that I feel like I've gotten the opportunity to meet, and being able to do that, they've not only put me on game, but showed love. And that's sometimes
That's
you don't know.
major.
Yeah, like with the female, you don't know how it's gonna be. It's either gonna be like some ego alpha female shit, or it's gonna be like, what's up, sis? Like it's only us out here. Let's link.
Right.
Like let's really tap in, cause like, whew, we gotta stick together.
Like you said, it's scarce.
It's scarce, yeah. So the more I can meet, the better. But now being in Houston, there's a lot of female rappers. There's a lot of female rappers right now. I mean, just on the bigger league, I think Southern rap is taking off for women. You got Glorilla, Meg, you got Erica Banks. You know what I mean? There's so many women in Houston that's going crazy, or just the South for real. So it just makes it a little bit easier. I can reach out a little bit easier because the pool is bigger. Yeah.
You plan on staying out there in Houston?
Not too long. I'm not gonna hold you. Not too long.
Yeah.
Houston's cool. It has its benefits. It has its perk. And I think the best part about it is I got the opportunity to isolate myself and learn so much about me, because I didn't have the distractions of like, hey girl, let's go out to the club, or like, oh, I'm gonna come over, or let's get into
know all these
this,
people out here.
because I don't know. So it's just me. So it gave me the opportunity to learn about myself and connect the dots with myself. But honestly, Daygo's it. Like my team's here, my family's here. The city's up for me. Like they're ready to see me win.
Yeah.
So having that, like having them just literally waiting for me to pop and being able to like be there behind me whole time. Absolutely, I'm gonna want to be here if I can. Yeah. So yeah, it's not the end goal in Houston. It's just a matter of time before I touch down back in the 619.
What made you move to Houston?
Ooh, the rent is too damn high.
She ain't lying. She ain't lying. I live out here my damn self.
It got to a point we had like 30 days to find some shit. Like rent went up all of a sudden. We was with roommates. Everybody was scrambling. We were like, okay, searching for apartments, And it was just like, bro, this just like, what the fuck I look like? Especially if you're born and raised Daygo. What the fuck do I look like paying $1,400 for a studio apartment?
Right.
Like I remember when we were paying that for a 3-bedroom. I was in middle school. We were paying $1,400 for a 3-bedroom house, not even an apartment. So I was like, you're not gonna finesse me.
The fact that you even knew what rent was going at fucking 14.
That's what I'm saying. Like money mindset all the time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I was just like, nah, we gonna have to. I'm 24. I ain't got no kids. I don't have no like debt or anything holding me back. So why not? I'm very much like, I ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
I'm always trying to be learning new shit and doing new shit. I'm impulsive as well. So like, you pick a point on the map, I'm gonna go. Let's run it. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
You got plans for kids?
Woo! When I get a Grammy. Yeah, absolutely. If I get a Grammy or an Emmy, yes.
So what if that never came then? So that's gonna deter you from having kids if you never got that?
You know what? I would say
and
not
do you do want kids?
We both at 50-50. It's funny you said that because we just had that conversation. We both 50-50. But it's more like we gotta get our accolades. We gotta get our respect. We gotta get our awards. We have to get the success that we feel we deserve before we can pass that down to another generation. You know what I mean?
On another tip though, it's like you said, you gotta get those accolades and awards. At the same thing, your kids don't give a fuck about them accolades.
Facts.
They want mommy and daddy, and that's the fucking big picture. So it's like, for you waiting, I mean, and that's not me forcing or trying to fucking rush y'all to have kids or nothing.
Yeah.
Just another perspective. It's like, for you waiting to like, I gotta have a Grammy, I gotta have this for me to have kids. Your kids ain't even worried about that shit.
No, they're gonna be like, oh, that's cool. Anyway, what's for lunch, mom? Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. So with that being said, I guess it's more of like a I worked so hard for this myself that like, I'm gonna get this first, and I'm gonna get, the reward that I done put in so much for before I'm like, all right, I'm ready to like open up a whole new chapter and have kids and stuff like that. But I'm really trying to adopt low key. Like if anything, I'm trying to adopt because it's too many niggas on this earth already. Like it would be cool to, get a blend of me, get a blend of him and all that stuff. But so many babies are in foster homes right now. So many babies need homes. So that's really where I'm at with it. Yeah.
That's crazy. What made you big on like now wanting to adopt or anything like that? Because most people I know like I want to have my baby. I want to have my baby.
Absolutely. One, I think like this is probably a hot take, unpopular opinion, but I think if you're like, oh, I need to have a baby, I need da da da, it's kind of selfish because it's like, yeah, I get you, and you can mix and do all that, but at the same time, like there's a bunch of kids right now ready to go. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of kids that need homes. And me being a kid who was not legally adopted, but pretty much adopted, it was like, damn, I wish there could have been someone there for my sibling. You know what I mean? Like he moved out with a whole other home, and I wish that was not the case for him. Or like for me, I wish, if I would have been adopted by a successful family, by a better family or a different family, it could have been a whole different layout for my life, a whole different storyline, a whole different direction. So when I think of that and I think about like how I was growing up as a kid, I think about the other kids who might be susceptible to that. And I don't want them to see that. Like when you know how bad shit can get, when you know negativity, you don't want to see that for anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do you say you were kind of adopted?
Oh yeah, because didn't know my dad. Mom was in and out of rehab and stuff like that. So when I say kind of adopted, I mean like my grandparents took me in and they raised me, but it wasn't no legal documentation.
Right.
So it's like you could pretty much say I was adopted, but it was like,
I didn't grow up with my parents. I grew up with my grandparents.
Right. But I still, it was still grandma and grandpa. It wasn't mom and dad. But it was still like, I mean, they could write me off on their taxes. You know what I mean? Like I was a dependent for sure. Like, yeah, absolutely. So you might as well say kind of adopted.
Yeah. How did you even get in touch with getting that on that set in Texas? You said that was your first or your second show?
No. So the Halloween show, the Cypher show where I met my boyfriend, that was my second show. Texas, that's like 3 years in the game at this point. Cause I started about really 3 or 4 years already.
Ago. So that somebody they noticing you.
Yeah. So what happened was I won a competition on the Bars app, best verse out of like 3-4 verses, went up against 2,000 people.
And what's the Bars app?
Bars app is a really cool app. Y'all should check it out. It's Bars app, and what it is it's like you can pick from beats and write your raps and think of it like TikTok, but for rappers or for singers. It depends on what you want to do.
Whatever the case may be.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. And so you get to choose from a selection of producers, and you can duet people and rap with them and cypher with them. And so once they had that competition, I kept going and going and going. And so I won a distribution contract with EQ Distro.
Oh, damn.
This
is all from the app.
This is all from the app. I won a distribution deal with EQ Distro, who's Rock Nation's little baby.
Okay.
That's their off-brand distribution.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
so that
Rock
was really
Nation,
cool.
Hey, that's already speaking volume.
Yeah, we was out there. I got that opportunity. So because I was doing so good on the Bars app, Meta had wanted to find new apps and new, brands coming out, and they chose to partner with Bars. And it was one of the people of Meta, who's Facebook and Instagram pretty much. They saw me rap and they were like, bring her on. Like we're doing a panel with Rolling Stone. We want her to speak on how the internet is changing the game, how social media is changing the game. So I got to go on there and talk about how much success I've had just from being on an app, just from being on social media. And that was really, really dope. That shit got me verified. Blue check. Out here.
I was honestly that was my next thing I was segueing into. I was like, I see she had the blue check.
Yeah.
People that got even like way more followers don't even have
followers.
So what does it really take to get the blue check?
I'm gonna drop game right now. Cause listen, if you trying to get verified, unless you know somebody at Meta, forget about it. Like, you can go through the app and go through the, here, I'm trying to get verified and this and that, but I promise you right now, it's so saturated that I've heard from a representative at Meta that they don't give a fuck about that. Like, if you apply for it, they're really not looking at it. So what I had to do was I had to get somebody from Meta to link me in with the right people.
Right.
I had to provide links, write-ups, buzzwords that will pull me up on social media, like on Google. I had to give them what I've done in the past. Like, it was extensive just to get me verified. And I did, which is cool. But like, if anybody's in your DMs talking about we can get you verified for this amount of money, that shit fake. You have to really tap in with somebody at Meta who's going to link you to the department who does the verification.
Yeah.
Because it's just too many people are verified right now. So they're really not trying to give it out. Yeah.
So with you being verified, do you feel like that has helped your musical career now? Or it's like, I didn't really more so need that? It's like people still fuck with me.
That's the tea. Like, I really think, like, especially myself, before I got verified, I was like, man, I just need this check. People really gonna take me seriously. Nah, like nothing has really changed besides people
That's what I
coming
was kind
out.
of thinking. Like,
Yeah, nothing has, like, don't get me wrong, people see me, but they're not seeing me like, hey, I saw you were verified. We should collab. Like, no,
right.
not at all. But most of the time, people slide in my DMs talking about, how did you get verified? Can you get me verified? And I'm like, hell
Like,
no.
how-
Yeah. Nope.
Can I get you
Can I get
verified?
verified?
Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? You know how hard it was for me to get this
It
shit?
was hard. Like, it was so hard. So no, like, that's pretty much all it is. But as far as any opportunities, nah, I can't say being verified does anything to you. So like, people out there who are looking to get verified or think that's gonna be the one, I promise you it's not.
You gotta put
It's
the goddamn work in.
you gotta put the work in. Like, you gotta have your content laid out, have your shit out there, network. That's really what's gonna get you there. It's not the blue badge at all. At all. Yeah.
That's now that I even know that I'm like, because you see a lot of blue checkers, people like, damn, they must be popping with
who
the
are
blue
they?
check.
Yeah. No, it's really not that big a deal. Like, especially because some people can fake a blue check, I've heard, but they're really Meta's on that like crazy right now. Like, they're really not trying to let that shit slide. So people can fake it, but also everybody's verified. Like, even people you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, Beyonce, she's verified, and you can see somebody with like a random name and you're like, who are they? But they're verified.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. With social media and especially Instagram, being able to fake follows, fake views, fake likes, and fake comments, nah, it's really about putting the work in. Cause they see right through that shit. I promise you right now, if a label's looking at you, they run your little tag through a generator and they can see what your real engagement is. They can call that bluff real quick. I promise you. So you better learn your metrics and your analytics right now, because they read them right through it. Right through it. Yeah.
We touched a little bit earlier, like you kind of big on already. How'd you know the so much business aspects?
Well, I think personally, like off music, I've been in the manager position at like work at my jobs, at different jobs. So I kind of had to learn business that way. And then really, like, as far as learning business in the musical aspect, I just did my research because I always
YouTube
saw
is a
it.
goddamn teacher.
YouTube University.
Right.
Absolutely. And I'm more like I never really saw it as like, don't judge me. I never really saw it as like, oh, I love music. Music is my passion. Da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get this back. Like, music is, I always say music is the car, the vehicle that's going to take me to my actual destination.
Because you want to be a business.
Absolutely. I'm a brand. Like, you know what I mean? Rap is just one of the things I do, but I'm a brand completely. I've hosted podcasts. I've done certain things. I've acted, you know what I mean? I play instruments. So it's like, this is just one of the many things that I do. So going into it with that mindset of like, how can I get to the next step? I'm not looking at it like, I just want to come out with cool music, man. Hell no.
Right.
I want to come out with this track
It's a
and
bigger picture.
get the door open for me. Who can
Yeah.
I show it to? Who can I get this with? So it's just that. And when I get around people who are, you know, who are really reputable, like my engineer, Milo, I get game as much as I can.
Right.
Yeah, I ask questions 100%.
You gotta soak that up.
Yeah. Asking questions is what gets you to the next door. Because
Right.
now you have more knowledge, and when you get around the right people, you talking like you really do this.
Knowledge
Even
is
if
power.
you just spitting shit somebody already told you, you talking like you know, and it's like, oh, okay, so she really about it. Let me take her serious. You know? That's always how it's been. Yeah.
What brought you to rapping instead of being like, you know, I'm gonna be a singer? You know, because most women, they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna just sing. You know, I'm gonna do my singing thing. What brought you to rapping instead? And also, do you do any singing?
I do sing. I do sing. Like, I have a background in singing. I'm not really like, if I was gonna sing, I want to be the like riffing ass, you know, woo, like I want to be like, ooh, like really kill them with it. Everything I do.
You want the Whitney Houston type shit.
Yeah, I want to be like, damn, I want to turn heads. So like, I can't do that yet. That ain't me. And I know, like, I'm not gonna be in denial with it at all. So how it happened is I was at an open mic, and I'll just go there all the time. I just pull up to be a spectator, and someone was just like, you should get up there one day. And I laughed at him, and I did a spoken word, and I had the guts to get up there and perform it. And people clapped, and it was like, that shit was hard. So I was like, ooh, that's crazy. And so I remember Doja Cat came out with Tia Tamera, and the second verse, I did not like it. I didn't like the feature. Shout out Rico Nasty. I love her to death. I did not like that verse though. So I was like, I think I could do a better job. So I wrote a verse, and I ended up writing a whole remix to the song, performed that at open mic. Since then it was up. Because it was just up. I put that on SoundCloud. That shit had some really good streams off of it. So I was like, okay. So that just, it kind of was like, I didn't choose like, I'm gonna be a rapper. I was just like, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, and it kept working. So I was like, I guess I'm a rapper.
Mhm.
That's just how it worked. Yeah.
And I know you, like you said, you want to make like this, like your brand. Your name is your brand.
Mhm.
How far do you plan on taking that?
Yeah. I think anybody who is a brand, anybody who feels they're a brand or feels that they're multifaceted should capitalize on that.
Talk your
So
shit.
yeah, absolutely. I do makeup, face beat. Yeah, festive edge control coming soon. Okay. Like I really want to tap into the things that make me me and also like help people feel themselves.
Mhm.
So like whether it be, the makeup stuff or whether it might be I want to do shoes for a certain type of woman or I want to do plus size clothing or I want to act, I want to have a show based on my life. You know what
Mhm.
it is? As long as there's a door open for that, I'm going to take it. I'm going to walk through
Mhm.
because the worst you could do is
Somebody say no.
yeah, and you really don't fail, you just learn. So with that being
Next.
said, yeah, I'm just on to the next one. Like how bad could it be?
Mhm.
And that's really if you take that mindset into your craft, it's like you just keep going because nobody can tell you nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah, what you gonna do? Laugh at me because it didn't go well? Oh well, now I know what not to do. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm gonna see you next time though. I'm gonna be
Exactly.
right back. Yeah.
So it seemed like you always want to look out for people. So
Mm-hmm.
in those moments, and you like fall, who is looking out for you? Who's there like when you fall and it's like, you know what? I know this person. I can
Yeah.
depend on them.
I would definitely say like in my hard times, it's been Omar, part of Rich Class, CEO of Rich Class Records, which was the label I was with for a long, long time, who I started out with. Um, Milo, he reached out to me in Texas. That's the reason I'm here today at his studio because he was like, you know what? I feel like something's off with you. You know what I mean? Musically, I'm not hearing from you. What's up? So like being able to tap in and him be vulnerable with me and me be vulnerable with him, he's able to like lift me up in a time where I'm not feeling well. And then also my boyfriend and my mom for sure. Yeah. I got friends out there, but like the ones who get to see me vulnerable is can count on one hand because
Right.
I don't like displaying that. As you can see, I like to keep it about the positivity and the party.
Mhm.
So like when people see that other side of me, it's very exclusive.
Mhm.
Very, very exclusive. Yeah.
That vulnerable side of you also, like how you said, you always about the positivity, that also helps.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are going through those type of things, like you even touching a little bit on how you was feeling growing up and things,
Yeah.
that help other people also relate to your story as well. Even the positive side and the vulnerability.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out my best friends for being there. And like, you know how some people like, let's say you lost the arm, right? And then you meet somebody and they lost the arm. So now y'all cool
Relate.
because you both lost the arm. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was really like that for a lot of my friends growing up. So like having a similar background with my friends, they were definitely there to hold me down. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's good that you even had somebody to help hold you down through them tough times. Like you had a lot of people you name up like boom, 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 boom. I'm glad that they out here helping me. So like that's even big for you to even like have that crowd to hold you down.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a privilege. And I think that being like I said, being in Texas and only having 1, 2 people out there, it really teaches you to cherish what you have now. And I think so often we take people for granted, we take things for granted. And I've learned that you shouldn't really think of things as possessive. You should think of things as grateful. So instead of being like, that's my best friend, hey, that's my best friend, it's like, thank you, best friend. Thank you for being my best friend. I'm glad that you're here. You shouldn't have to feel that you need to be here because you are my best friend. I'm grateful that you even came. And keep that mentality every step of the way because one day they could be gone. One day you could be gone. You never know. So you cherish it right now because she should be a shame if you didn't and they left, you know?
I'm glad that you were able to show that love, and I really hope that they able to show all that love back to you, so it'll come all back tenfold, 100%.
Yeah.
And is there any people out in Texas that you working with now?
Yeah, Sunny the Rapper. Shout out Sunny the Rapper. She's going up right now. Oh my gosh, stream thick. 3Ks at the end of it. She's from Houston. She's taking off. She just got signed to a distribution label. She's doing really good out there. We got a track coming out. We got a remix to Demi Libido, which is one of the songs off my last EP. So I'm working with her. And then besides that, I've been tapped in with a couple people here and there, but nothing too serious.
Right.
Yeah, I like to kind of learn about what people really do and their work ethic before I work with them because there's been so many times I give somebody a verse and it don't ever come out. Or there's so many times where like it's transactional. And that's cool. But if it's transactional, it better be a good enough transaction for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing
Exactly.
nothing for the free. Like,
Right.
especially if you work on your craft and you put into your craft, ain't no reason you shouldn't be getting stuff back for
Right.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
You also touched on a little bit when he said like your producers asked like, you know, I'm not feeling like I'm not making no music.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't it that time you wasn't making no music?
I think one, being out there, not having a studio out there, that's one. You know what I mean? I will say right now to any artist, to any creative, when you find that engineer that you mesh with, keep that. Keep that for as long as you can. Because I promise you, 80% of the engineers and the people in the studio that's going to press the buttons for you don't give a fuck about you like that. They just want to get paid hourly, to press the button, record and stop, mix it how you tell them to mix it, cut it, and that's it. Send it to you, and that's it. So when
It's
you
no
find
personal relationship.
it's no personal relationship, or like they just don't want to give you that energy for whatever reason, and that's cool. But when you find somebody who's like, oh, you know what, this would be cool, or like, oh, I like when you said this, let's
They give
try
you
it
some
again.
suggestions as
They
well.
give you suggestions, especially when they have experience. That shit will take you so far. Like, being able to have the relationship I have with Milo has allowed me to change up so many different tones, to try singing, to try different effects on my voice, to say weird shit and just get weird in the studio. And I think a lot of artists, they get on the mic and they're like, whew, yikes. You know what I mean? Let me just read from my phone because like that's all I really want to do.
Right.
Add a couple Migos ad libs and I'm done. You know, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Wait on it.
Yeah. Exactly. So once you have somebody where like you could try some weird shit and you feel comfortable, that is really one in a million. And that will take an artist from an artist to a creative. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So keep that engineer if you find them. If not, keep looking because they out there.
That's a couple of gems.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
With you being a woman and being a rapper, do you feel so you gotta be like sexy for somebody to actually tap in? Or you feel like, you know, if I wasn't and I'm just doing my rap shit, like they gonna still tap in, but you feel like, because I mean, and I know how the diversity is for women and men. Like, do you feel that same type of energy without you having to be sexy? Like you gonna still get the type of notoriety that you're looking for?
Great question. Yes, me personally, I feel like I could be in a hoodie and turn heads. But that comes from one, confidence,
right,
and two, actually having substance in my music. If I'm in a hoodie, I'm talking about I got a fat ass. Hey, I'm gonna throw it back. Hey, it's like, well, you in sweats, like, you know, you know, or if I'm talking about I like Givenchy, I like Gucci, but I'm like in K-Swiss, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not really being true to the brand. I don't believe her. That's cap. But when I talk about different things in my life, like whatever's personal, how I'm feeling, what the day's looking like, or just some relatable shit, it doesn't matter what I'm looking like because people can relate.
Right.
And I love to look good. That's definitely, you know, I love to look good. But I think that, you know, it's really the music that sells for me. It's really the music. And I think for female artists, it's sad because they really get sexualized, even when they're not trying to be. Like, look at Billie Eilish. You know what I mean? She had to wear 4X t-shirts till she really like stood out for herself and made a name for herself. Then she was like, all right, let me dress how I'm feeling. But like, nah, there's been so many times where people try to book me and I ask, all right, well, what track was it? Or like, what'd you hear? How'd you hear about me?
What made you even want to?
Yeah, almost like quizzing them. And they're like,
damn, it was that one that you did with what's her name? You know which one I'm talking about. That one I was slapping. That one. That one.
And I'm like, that's cap. You not no, because a lot of people want to sexualize female rappers. Lord forbid they talk about something that they're confident about, like their body. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, if that's what you're selling, then I'm trying to get it. And it's like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not selling it. I'm talking about it. I'm celebrating it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a little hard in the industry right now because people are getting rejected from being signed because they don't want to put out. But I know my talent gonna be good regardless. So like wherever I end up, whether it's indie or on the label, it's like I know it's gonna be because I'm who I am. It's not for what I need to do to get there.
You actually just kind of touched on. I was just about to ask, like, are you looking to be signed or you want to be independent? Because I mean, you know how the independent thing is buzzing like crazy.
Yeah.
And not to kill anybody who's trying to fucking sign her right now.
Oh, no. Holla at me. But I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I know too damn much. I know too much about the industry, especially with being signed to a distro label.
Mhm.
Even though that was just a distribution label, that shit was rough.
And what does a distribution label entail?
Yeah, so you have publishing, which means they cover the recording fees, they cover the music videos, they
Okay.
cover this, and then they also help you market. They cover that fee too.
Mhm.
Distribution is more like, we're gonna cover and get you on the platforms, right? But you create
You
the
gotta
music.
sell
It's
it.
coming out of pocket for you to record it and produce it pretty much. But once it's produced, once it's ready to go, we're gonna help you
gonna push it.
distribute it. Yeah, absolutely. So when I was on the distribution label, I had a marketing budget of $5,000. Wasn't in advance, didn't have to pay it back, simply just mine.
Mhm.
Tell you right now, it was a whole year. I didn't get that shit till month 11, and they did not want to get me that.
Mhm.
So it was like learning that, and now learning, because we have social media, the industry is so transparent, artists are so transparent. Knowing that and being part of that firsthand and just knowing how frustrating it was, I don't want no label.
Mhm.
I don't want a label. Like, I thought I did for 3 out of the 4 years I've been doing music. I thought I wanted to get signed,
Mhm.
like at Rock Nation or TDE or something like that. I don't want that shit at all. Like, it's terrifying how they're finessing artists.
Mhm.
It's like pretty much you just got a credit card for 20 to 100,000, and they're choosing how you spend it.
Mhm.
That's the way I see it. So it's like, yeah, you don't have a credit card to do what you want. They gonna tell you what you about to do with it. And oh well, if you go over the budget, because you still got to pay it back at the end of your term. So give me that indie. Yeah, let me make my own money and choose how I want to do it. Because if you have that business mindset, ain't no reason you should have a label. Not until you're established. Like if you've already, won this, that, and the third, you've gotten to this point, then sign with the label.
Right.
Because they need you more than you need them.
Right. At
But
that point.
yeah, but for the up and coming artists, don't sign to no label. It's
Mhm.
finesse. Yeah. It's a scam.
A scam.
It's a scam.
What
Yeah.
even inspired you to start rapping?
Honestly, the weird girls, they inspired me to start rapping. Weird rappers in general. I love Tyler, the Creator, back when he was on his like Odd Future shit.
Right.
Love Doja Cat. She weird as hell. Doechii is my newest. She's a new artist, but she's one of my favorites right now.
Mhm.
And pretty much it's like, you don't have to fit this mold of like
Not at all.
of this like Barbie or
Not at
doll
all.
or thick or this and that. Like, you could literally go on a track and just be your weird self. And now like people can relate to it, especially Black women. I think that's so cool that Black women can come out and not fit a certain mold and be who they are. And there's other Black women who will appreciate that.
Right.
That shit is so dope to me.
Mhm.
So dope to me.
And then that's also from you coming up feeling like, I don't know if I'm getting love here or here. So now it's like, y'all, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that shit is so cool. And don't get me wrong, like it's not just Black women who listen
Of
to
course
hip-hop.
not.
But like being able to be like, girl, when you said this, or hearing from somebody like, oh,
can
girl,
relate.
I play this song all the time because work got me fucked up. And you know what it is? Like, whatever it might be, being able to connect with women, period, on that level is like, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It is beautiful for sure.
What's some of your favorite tracks you came out with?
Favorite track. My favorite track is Madison. Alpha produced that. Shout out to this dude right here. My favorite track is Madison. Cause it's just straight bars. And then it's just like, last part is like, nah, ho, you can't tell me nothing. And it's like it sounds like a stadium is chanting that shit. And when I perform that shit live and I tell the crowd, say, nah, ho, you can't tell me nothing, I promise you, every time they say it with their chest, because it's like, oh, she's actually spitting. And I got the opportunity to perform that in front of Toby. And like, him being a very established indie
100%.
artist, he was like, that shit was hard. Like, being able to get that affirmation from somebody up in the game, it was like, this is probably my favorite track right now.
Yeah.
Like, I know this shit cold. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, yeah.
What was
Yeah.
your experience now? Like you said, we was on the stage with him. Like, what was that experience? I mean, maybe off camera, on camera. What was that like, even being in the same presence with him?
You know what? I would say it was, I want to say nervous, but it wasn't nervous because I was around him. It was nervous because I was around all these like big wigs, all these executives. So to be honest, like, he was really cool meeting, but I've already kind of desensitized myself from like the whole
like,
celebrity.
oh my God,
no,
I'm around this person.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So like, and I think that's because I've been the one to, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I've been the one to be like, oh, this is Festive. Everybody meet her, shake hands with this. Like, she's the star of the show for today.
Mhm.
So being at that level and meeting people who are like excited to meet me
Mhm.
and geeked up to meet me, I'm like, nigga, we all human. Like, we're all
Right.
the same person. This is so crazy. Like, whether I made 1,000 or 100,000, like, damn, we're all just here doing the same shit. We all got the same dream. That's crazy.
And that came with that confidence that you established in yourself as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like, honestly, anybody who might have that nerve, you know, the nerves or the fear of like, oh, it's so and so. What do I say? What do I do? I promise you, if you just go up to them like a regular human being, they ain't gonna respond just
And that
the
be the thing.
same.
Be regular. Don't be like, oh, I know I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah.
But like, just talk to
play
me
it
like
cool.
you was gonna talk to somebody else you just walked up on.
Absolutely, because they are just the same. They wake up in a bed, they go to sleep in bed, they eat food, they drink water. Like, we're all the same. We really are the same. And it's like, you know, some people got an ego, but that's nobody you want to be around anyway.
That'd be my
so you
shit.
Good.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you said, that's nobody you want to be around anyway with that type of energy anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shit, while we still got you on here, is there anything that you wanted to promote? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything.
Yes, I would say definitely go stream Chasing Green. It's the latest EP by me. Type in Chasing Green, Festive. I'm gonna pop right up, play my music. Go watch Hypnotic, the music video with Kalia. And while you at it, follow me. F3STIVE. That's where I'm at. That's where I
Festive,
be.
she's letting you know. So that's another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. I'm gonna repeat that. The BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's with 2 G's, and it's a wrap. That was, I honestly felt like that was like perfect.